Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Mediumcore. And today we're going to be working on digging out this section here, and then hopefully all the rest of it as well, if we have time. So I need to get it down to Y57, just like the rest of it. And, yeah, I guess that's not really much to say. I was kind of hoping to sleep by now, so I could get on with it. Come on. Ah, what a great start. There we go. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we need to get down to Y57. So I'll just kind of dig down. And I'll just mine on through. I already messed it up. That's wonderful. So this is where I need to be. But I'm going to do the same thing I did with this, and I'm going to mine it out like 2 layers at a time so that it's manageable. And where does this end? Right here. So I'll go up to about right here, and we'll go from there. Well, it's been a while since I've done a time lapse, so I figured I'd do a nice big and long one. This represents about 40 minutes of the hour long it took to dig out this whole section. Maybe it's a little more than an hour, but about an hour. Actually, there was a small point where there was like an underwater cave that I had to sponge out, which was a little annoying, and you can kind of see that later on in the time lapse, but fortunately I got it taken care of, so it wasn't really an issue. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be, but this area is now mined all the way out. It was actually a lot smaller than the other one. I didn't quite realize that, because the water is a lot closer. And I'm not going to be draining it just yet. I'm going to do all the mining before I do any of the draining, because A, I'm going to need more cobblestone to kind of like line the ocean floor, and B, because the mining is a lot easier. So I'd rather get all the mining out of the way done first. And what I want to do here is I want to connect the 2 sides. I want to mine out the big strip under what's going to be like a land bridge, but I need to figure out exactly how to do that. So I'll have to deal with that later. But mining was actually, it was kind of relaxing. Not having to deal with any villagers or drain a lot of water. It was nice. Except for trading to repair my pickaxe, which I had to do a couple times. Not nearly as many as I did with the other section, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed this time lapse. So this is how it looks when it's all done and dug out. As you can see, it's definitely significantly smaller than the other area. And it didn't take too long, it only took about an hour. And you can kind of see by the cobblestone where that water area was that I mentioned. But it's done, and it's time to move on. And what I want to do is dig out this here. Which means I need to figure out a design, how I want the land bridge to look, just how I want it to fit in. So I'm going to work on that and work on mining all this out, and I'll come back when it's all connected up, and it's one seamless section of chasm. Well, it's not perfect, but it's not going to be that visible, so I don't really care. Most of it's going to be hidden in glass, and it'll look better when it is hidden in glass too. But, oh, this underside was a pain. There's so much string. It's ridiculous. I had to actually like wait for it to be night and go out and kill a bunch of spiders. But it's the little details. It's something that'll probably never actually be seen, but oh, I like it now. That's what matters. And yeah, it should look better as it's incorporated into the actual build, which obviously is far from happening. But it's done, it's dug out, and there is only one more thing that I really want to do in today's episode, and that is to finish all the big chunks of digging. So like here, this big chunk, which shouldn't be too bad, except for I think there's an underwater ravine that I'm going to have to deal with. But yeah, that section, all of this here, and then I think, yeah, this chunk here also needs to go. So I'm gonna do all the digging. I'm gonna leave all the water in, but I'm gonna do all the digging, get it all the way down, and if I have time, I'll start trying to lay a base for the underwater draining to start. But no draining in today's episode, just digging, and I have a lot of it to do. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm actually gonna start with this section here, since it's the smallest and therefore should be the easiest. But I'll be back when it's all done. Well, I grossly underestimated the size of these sections, but they are both done, and it probably took about 6 or 7 hours to do both of them. It was a lot more than I thought it would be, and yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was just some laid back, listening to music, mining. Obviously there's still work to be done. I've got all the draining to do, plus some of the walls in some spots, and there is also I think, no, it's back this way. I think somewhere there's a little section of land that sticks out. Yeah, here. This little section of land sticks out here, but I'm not going to worry about it until I've got the black concrete walls in, since it's a very small section. But speaking of that, that is what I plan on doing in the next episode. Working on getting all the black concrete gathered and put into place, so that I can begin the monumental task of draining all of it. Because I think there's more water than land. It looks like there's more water than land. I definitely wouldn't be surprised if there is. So that's gonna be a big task. Probably won't drain it all in one episode, but getting all the black concrete in, that'll help. And as I've gone, I've kind of tried to put more and more glowstone in place, trading from repairing pickaxes and shovels, so these pillars are actually more proportional looking now that they're buried in glowstone. So yeah, it's all looking a lot better. It was a lot of work, but it's a step in the right direction. This section especially was big. I just split this one up into 2 chunks and do it at 2 different times. But yeah, it is done, and I'm glad it's done, because it means I don't have to do it again. Ow. That being said, that is all I have time for today's episode of Minecraft Mediumcore. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.